Here's Michelle Malone singing and strumming on Memorial Day in Atlanta, Georgia.
I should have a harmonica right now.
Michelle has just released a new album titled 1977. Listen and watch to find out what happened in 1977 and to hear a live performance of the timely tune, Even the Queen.
Took your moonshot with a paper kite. It didn't turn out like you thought it might.
You got this album out in 1977. It's a year I remember well. Apparently you do too. And it was released a little while ago. So what's the reaction been to the record since you put it out? Has it done everything you want it to do so far?
Well, gosh, I don't know. People seem to like it, and
Good.
including, publications and things like that. So it seems to be doing well and well received. I love the record. I love singing these songs, and for me personally, that's what's the most important thing. I mean, obviously, I need to sell it, and I need people to come to see me play the songs live, and that's a beautiful thing. But I've put out 17 records now, I think, and it just really feels like a special record, and I can't take credit for it. I feel like a conduit, and these things kind of flow through me from every few years.
Right.
So I just feel very blessed to get to make a record like this and to get to sing songs like this.
Right. So folks who may not be aware, what is the significance of 1977 for you?
Oh, well, that was the year I started playing guitar.
Right.
And I do love that era of music. I think 77 was a special year for music. As far as, I really enjoyed that era. I enjoyed all the singer-songwriters of Laurel Canyon and the move that it was making,
Yep. Yeah, very good. So when did you must have been buying records at that point? I don't know how old you are, and I don't want to ask, but
I was, but my mom was a singer in
great.
a band, and I, just listened to whatever she listened to, and she at the time in the 70s was in a pop band, so they covered all Linda Ronstadt and all that stuff from that era, Fleetwood Mac and the Eagles and all that. So it really was what I grew up on, mostly because of my mother. But I also grew up hearing her sing Mozart and Puccini and Mahalia Jackson and Billie Holiday and a lot of different genres of music. I had a wide variety of music in my home growing up. So this is just one faction of it. I don't plan on making an opera record or anything like that, but, but I love all music,
Okay. So when did this album start to take formation? When did it start becoming what it was or is?
Well, I guess I started writing it in 2020 because I had nothing but time.
Yeah.
And I had been out in California for the last 2 weeks of February of 2020. And I came home and got locked down, but I was still in a California frame of mind, very beachy and
right.
laid back, And when I started writing, the songs felt like that. And then since, all the proverbial crap hit the fan and things started getting a little iffy and a little scary. So I started listening to old music that I grew up on that was comforting and familiar. And that was the Laurel Canyon stuff. So I got influenced twofold, coming in from both sides. And so the record started to sound like it does. And it's like California by way of Georgia.
Gotcha. That's not a bad thing.
It's interesting. It is. It's very introspective. And I sing about some, my dad and my granddad. And I sing about being from Georgia. And then I just sing, songs that most people can relate to about wanting to have relationships with people and being afraid to reach out, or having changed so much that I don't recognize myself anymore, things like that.
Cool. Well, I noticed just the first track, Daggers, has a line, "You were contagious and I was contaminated." It seems rather contemporary. And
I know it does, but honestly, I wrote that for the previous record. and it just made it on this record. So it was actually written before. It was written in like 2018 or 2017.
Right.
But it didn't make the record. It wasn't right for the record, that previous record.
And so what made it right for this record?
You were contagious. I was contaminated like the other lovers who got tangled up in your chains.
Well, I changed the tempo.
Okay.
I changed the tempo. I added a minor chord, and suddenly it clicked. You know.
Okay. Now you mentioned that there's some family members that show up in these songs. I'm guessing Black Knife Man, maybe one of those, and probably Georgia Maid. So tell me a little bit about those.
He was a buck knife man. He loved country music and sitting in his old deer stand.
Well, Buck Knife Man is about my dad. He always carried a pocket knife, and you know, it was very telling. And in the song, I talk about all the things he used to do with his pocket knife, like, you know, he would cut my fishing line out of a tree when it would get stuck, of course. They open Christmas presents and things like that. That's what I remember. So when he passed, I got some of his pocket knives, and I really love to hold them because it's something he kept on him all the time. So I feel closer to him with that. And
Right.
And my grandfather too. He was a big pocket knife man. But the song about my granddad was about how he grew up in South Georgia and went off to fight in World War II. And
he went off to fight in the Great War in Germany and France and Italy. He said Paris is nice, but I missed the swaying pines. Georgia clay must run in my bloodstream.
you know, it's funny because the old shack that he grew up in was still down in South Georgia until about 2 years ago.
Mhm.
But it was literally just a one-room shack that he and his 5 brothers and sisters grew up in. I don't really know how people lived like that back then, but
Yeah.
it's just a testament to how far he came, you know, and I'm so proud of that in an odd way, you know. So anyway, sitting about all these things, and usually I tour so much, and I haven't been home this much since I was a teenager, honestly, I don't think. So I had a lot of time to reflect on things that I don't normally have time to think about.
Right.
So it was nice. I hate to say it, but I enjoyed being home.
I've heard that quite a bit from quite a few folks. They're always apologetic, but they're like, it was actually pretty good.
It was a nice change of pace. I'm ready to hit the road again, though, I gotta say.
Right. Well, you have a couple shows coming up, right? You have like some
I
online.
do. I do.
And are you doing your album release like in Knoxville or something? And just now, or have you already done that?
Well, no, I haven't really started the tour yet. I'm just kind of doing a little show once in a while outside of the state. But I've been out to Albuquerque and San Diego and LA and a couple of just one-offs.
Right.
I haven't really done the tour. So I don't know if that's going to happen this time or not. It's all up in the air, and I'm trying to be okay with whatever happens, you know. I've decided since I don't see the summer tour on my schedule just yet, I'm just going to have a summer of live streaming and, try out a new platform and see how that goes.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
And are you doing that solo, or do you have a band, or what? How are you presenting the
No,
song?
it'll be solo. Yeah, I write my songs and, like sitting here with a guitar. So I feel like I should be able to deliver them that way. And I know it's different, but it should work.
Yep.
That's how it started, right?
Now you do have a guy, Elliot, Bronson, who you've co-written a few songs with. Tell me about how you guys work together and maybe.
We work together beautifully. Elliot is a
That's good.
wonderful. He's a wonderful singer-songwriter and just a sweetheart of a fella. And we wrote a couple songs on my previous record, and I just really enjoyed not only working with him, but I loved the songs. I loved to sing them, you know. So we got together again for this record and wrote a couple more. And I just love writing with him and hanging out with him too. He's fun.
And what's the process like when you write with someone else? Because obviously on your own, it's very personal and intimate, but it can't be quite that way, I would imagine.
Well, it touches on that when you're writing with someone else. At least it does for me and Elliot. I feel like these songs are fairly personal and meaningful without giving too much away, you know.
For sure.
But you know, we just work well together, and he and I have, I guess, a lot of experience in general writing and performing. So it's not that difficult when you know the person you're writing with. You know, it happens fairly quickly. That's probably another reason I like working with him.
He works fast.
Well, it just doesn't feel efforted, you know.
Right. Now, one of the songs I wanted to touch on was Powder Keg, because it's kind of got a bluesy vibe to it, and it kind of builds up to this big kind of powder keggy thing. So what can you tell me about that one?
Wake up, 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 wake up.
But it was kind of about a relationship I had with a friend that kind of fell apart, and we were on and off and on and off, and it was partially about that. And I figure most people can relate to that, but I was just really upset by it. It was someone who I was very close with, and anyway, that was part of it. But it's two or threefold. Do what you will with that.
Gotcha. Will do. And another one, Dust Bowl Man. I kind of like that one. I think it might be my favorite one on the record. So,
Interesting.
'Cause I can feel the rocks right through my shoes, like I've been somewhere, but I have never moved. And the preacher says that it's part of the plan. I was born to be a Dust Bowl man.
Well, it's very Americana. And even the subject matter I feel is very Americana, but I'm part of a destination workshop, and my friend Trish Land teaches painting and I teach songwriting, and we do this 2 or 3 times a year. And that was a song that I wrote with one of my students.
oh,
She had never written a song. She was a pediatrician. She didn't write a song. She didn't play an instrument. She didn't sing. She just wanted to see how the, sausage was made. So she came and took my class, and I usually pair my students together because not all of them play an instrument. And we wrote that song together.
okay, cool. And there's some serious guitar playing at the end of that. Is that you?
Yeah, that's my guitar player, Doug Keys.
Okay.
I don't play a lot of guitar on this record. I just really, I kind of had been sitting in my house strumming an acoustic, for quite a while, and I was really enjoying getting back to that part of me.
Right.
Because that's how I started, playing guitar. And I didn't really want to play electric. I played all the feedback and stuff at the end of Powder Keg, which
Oh,
was
good.
very mean. I had to get that out of my system. But yeah, Doug's an amazing guitarist, and I love his work, and he is able to capture in his guitar what I want the song to be. I barely have to even say anything to him. He just instinctively knows. We're pretty tight. So yeah.
All right.
Oh, and I have one more thing to tell you about that song. You might like this.
Okay.
in that particular session, in that class, I brought this photo album of old photos. This photo album I had picked up at a thrift store or an antique store. And we didn't know any of the people in it. And it was from like 30s or 40s. It was all black and white, you know, with the little beveled edges. And so everyone had to pick a photo out and write a song about it. So that's how we came to Dust Bowl Band.
Oh, cool. All right. That's what we like to hear. The inside scoop.
That's right. Being from Georgia, I don't think I would have really ever written anything about a Dust Bowl, you know? So it's an interesting exercise to take you out of your comfort zone.
And what appeals to you about Georgia?
Everything.
All right.
And the song Georgia Made, I say that my family's been here 300 years, and they have. And I feel like it's just in my DNA.
Right.
Like I've moved away. I've lived in other states, and I'm, you know, obviously I travel a lot, but I always miss it when I'm gone. And when I get home, it's the way the light shines and the way the pine trees sway and the red dirt. I just love it. I'm very outdoorsy anyway. And I'm, you know, it's in me.
Cool. One more song to touch on, the last one, River Song, because you got Amy Ray with you on that one.
And the days run on like the river song. And the days run on to listen to the river and sing along. Oh, the river song.
That's another one I wrote at the songwriting camp, just because my students were writing and I felt guilty. So I said, well, I should sit here and write a song too. And we do the camp up in Blue Ridge, Georgia, in the mountains on the Toccoa River. So the river is very prominent at camp for me. And so I just wrote about that.
Cool.
And those are all the people that were there that session and what happened. You know, it was just a fun little sweet song. But you know, what's interesting is I didn't think people would like that song because it's almost too personal.
Right.
With these little snapshots of being at song camp, you know. But then I swear this in the past week, you're about the fourth person who said that might be one of their favorite songs on the record. And I'm just surprised by that and glad.
Well, I had a discussion with somebody just yesterday about the same topic. The more personal and specific the song seemed to be, like she had written a song about Vacation Bible School, which is a very specific thing. I knew about it, so I brought it up, and she was like, yeah, it's amazing how she didn't think anybody would know anything about that. And that keeps coming up in conversation. And the more personal the songs are, the more they affect people rather than the more generic kind of, everyone should understand this. So there you go.
Yeah.
Something to think about, I guess. I don't know.
I know. I think there are two schools of thought on that. Because I've heard the opposite of that as well.
Sure.
And again, art is so subjective that it's just lay it out there for everybody.
Yep.
And like I said in the beginning, as a writer, I have to write for myself first and then hope that everyone else gets it or likes it.
Very cool. Now you do have your guitar with you. Are you thinking of singing a song?
Well, I didn't know if you wanted me to sing a song or not, so I have it. I could.
Well, I'd love to hear it. Sure.
I think it's probably better on the record, but you know, I'm happy to do it.
What song do you have in mind?
Well, I've been doing. I could do "Not Who I Used to Be" or even "The Queen," or you know, any number of things. I haven't played this guitar in a while, but it sounds good.
Well, we haven't talked about even the Queen, so let's hear about that and hear it.
All right. Well, it's pretty literal. I was sitting by the Tower Bridge in London and with a friend and she was talking about how great the Queen's life must be.
Right.
People waiting on her hand and foot and anything she wants anytime. And I just thought that sounded almost annoying. I just like to be left alone a lot. But I just thought, even the Queen has dreams. She probably wants to be able to go shopping without bodyguards or being attacked
entourage.
Yeah, go to a restaurant, whatever, meet her friends out. So even the Queen. And then later I thought, well, it could also just be about anyone who runs a household or teaches, or there's so many different kinds of royalty, right?
Yep.
So, let's see if this works.
Okay.
Nothing is exactly what it seems. Even the Queen has dreams. Even the Queen has dreams. Broken promises and broken hearts. You make the best of it, you play your cards. Work it till you get to quit this scene. Even the Queen has dreams. Even the Queen has dreams. And it's hard to keep an open heart. And it's hard to keep from falling apart. I should have a harmonica right now. You took your moonshot with a paper kite. It didn't turn out like you thought it might. But all the places and the people you've seen, even the Queen, even the Queen has dreams. And it's hard to keep an open heart. And it's hard to keep from falling apart. And it's hard to keep an open heart. And it's hard to keep from falling apart. And the seas, but even the Queen, even the Queen has dreams. Even the Queen, even the Queen has dreams.
Hey, thank you very much. Technology is wonderful. I love the fact that we can do this.
Isn't it amazing? I was thinking that earlier, just talking to you from a bazillion miles away.
That's pretty much what it is too. Yes. Yes, indeed. Well, that's fantastic. What a great way to end off the chat. Hopefully your upcoming shows are going to go well. You going to have a Memorial Day picnic or anything?
Well, let's see. I already went and had peach ice cream today. So
Well, that's good.
At the peach farm. So that was pretty exciting.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll probably grill a little something and hang out.
Very good.
Maybe
Well,
watch that. Yeah.
come on down to
Yeah,
New
thanks
Zealand.
for having me.
Come on down whenever you get a chance. We'd love to have you.
I would love to. Thank you.
All right.
And y'all, if I do a live stream that's, even remotely in your time zone,
Yep.
maybe people could watch.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. Very good.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.